Welcome to Work the Left Side. I am hyper hyped to announce tonight's guest. It is the one and only the pop punk kid, Mr. Jake Silver. How are we doing, buddy? You good?
All good, man. All good. Chilling.
Nice. Why not? It's a Thursday evening. One more day left of work. Just chill.
I'm excited.
So, dude, thank you so much, obviously, straight away, for joining me, for having this conversation. It's been in the pipelines for a long time. It's like one of those things. It's nearly happened a few times, then it hasn't. And then me being me, I'm like, right, no, I don't want to, push. But then, like the other day, I just sent you that graphic, be like, mate, I've had this graphic ready for so long.
I was going to say it's quite an old photo, is that? It's one I like, by the way. It's I Will Burn Art that did that photo, and anytime he takes photos of me, I'm always like, I've been using the same ones for years. He's absolutely excellent. But
Dude,
when
awesome.
I don't think I've sent that to anyone in years. And I was like, oh God, I forgot about that photo existing.
Right. I always like, I like to, that's the whole point of these episodes, big you guys up, make you look good, and I find the photo, makes you look boss, I'll be like, whoa, that dude looks menacing. I ain't messing with that dude. So that's it. And obviously, Simon, it's a master at his craft. Anytime Simon takes a photo, it's got to be good, it is. So we'll touch on the generic stuff at some point down the line. But I mentioned this before we hit record. First thing I want to talk about, before we talk, obviously, everybody knows, CrashBoat, Jake Silver, fans of Planet and stuff like that. When I was looking through things that popped me, and obviously, I'm in Leeds, I know Rise, Boys to Men. I just love the Boys to Men. The fact that you and Jack was Boy 1, Boy 2, or when you're together, it's Boys to Men. I'm of that age as well, man. I get, I remember that song, that was my jam in my teens. So I'm like, oh, Boys to Men. How did that come about?
That was O'Doherty kind of forcing that on us. Like, we were originally only meant to be brought in as like Sean only sidekicks. That was like the original plan for us. And then suddenly we started doing all this stuff with him, and like the character stuff was getting over so well, and we were only meant to do like quite small parts, and then it ended up becoming a bit more than that, and then on the eventual break of us like breaking up from Sean only, we literally just looked at the music, man, and then like the music hit, like, we were just like, all right. Dave, hit the music, and then it was just like, suddenly we hit the figure. And then later on, I think that we'd mentioned like, oh, we're gonna have like maybe a pop punk song, and we were like, oh, we're thinking Anthem by Good Charlotte as our entrance. And O'Doherty just goes, no, nobody, lad, you're coming out to It's Raining Men, you've got no choice. And I was just like, and that is literally how we come out. But we used to have to get Natalie Sykes to actually stand at the door for us, because we didn't know the actual break into that song, because we didn't know the when the chorus hits, and we're like, Natalie, tell us when we'd run out there. So like for the first few times we did that, but it was nice coming back after like COVID and finally letting that hit. It's Raining Men, that was a big special one for us. But yeah, we did the Boys to Men when we first broke up with Sean only. So, and then we've recently, I think over time we were thinking about other boys songs. Boys Are Back in Town. There were so many that like there were too much to choose from. The Boys of Summer, just too many.
Dude, you could literally it's like that film Baby Driver, when he's just all about all the songs with baby in the title. It's the same sort of thing. You're looking for songs with boys in the title. Dude, you're there all day. You could literally just mesh them all up. Have a different song every show for the next 10 years.
We did that, but I think It's Raining Men was like the hype one. That was the god tier of entrance musics that have come out to. It's also like it's very Friday song that's played on the radio. Is that so? Like whenever I'm at work in the office and I'm sitting around and that music. And I just feel like just down in a can of dark fruit.
Shit's about to get hardcore. But Rise, speaking to numerous people that work Rise, I love Rise in the sense of it's such a weird environment. It's such a crazy just, and hopefully the fans don't take offense, but it's just a bunch of crazy bastards, at those shows. It's such like a little cult. It's unreal. But again, I was speaking to a few guys that have worked there that aren't hard, like deathmatch specialist kind of guys. But it doesn't matter. That's the thing. I made that comparison to like ECW back in the day. Everybody thinks of ECW as being hardcore, but it was such a variety show. You could have like really skilled wrestlers on there, and they fit in perfectly. Which is, where I kind of put you guys in.
Yeah, I think all the deathmatch guys in Rise are doing absolutely excellent. Anything Lou, Big Joe, Caden, they're just absolutely killing it at the moment. Darko, the Rise guys. Because I think at some point everybody was like, "Oh, it's just deathmatch wrestling. It's just deathmatch." Those guys have raised that level, in my opinion. Around the UK, like to the point where it's definitely one of like the most popular, sellout shows. Is like any of the shows that they're on. But yeah, I'd love to have a singles with Lou at one point, a big Lou. that'd be an excellent one for me. I've gone against him at North a few times. Just being in multi-mans with him. But yeah, he'd be a good opponent, I reckon, for me to go against.
From a fan's point of view, mate, I would easily, happily buy a ticket to go watch that match. That's definitely, you put that on a poster and you've got my attention. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'll go pay for that. But obviously, mentioning Rise, you just mentioned North. Obviously, dude, you're well travelled. I was speaking to Act 2 yesterday. They put the miles and they put the hours in. I was listing off promotions that they've worked at as a team. You're like on par, either as yourself, by yourself, or obviously with Jack. I think, again, I'm not blowing smoke from a fan's point of view. I rate CrashBoat has been in like the top 5 tag teams, in the country, just for presence alone and match quality. So, but no, like I say, North, I mean, that's a place, if people haven't worked it, pretty much everybody now wants to work North.
Yeah, no, they're one of the big companies. I was meant to work for them quite a lot more this year. I was offered quite a bit, but just clashed with other dates and weddings and stuff like this. I'm finding like the knock on from COVID is nobody was getting married in those like 2022, 2023 kind of things. Oh, now the fulling thing, wanting to all get married now. So I got offered quite a lot of North dates, and I couldn't make a single one of them. So I'm absolutely gutted because North's my baby. North is just like the best place to work, and unfortunately, just due to overcommitments, I've just not been able to make it, which is a bit gutting. But hopefully, I'll be back there soon. That's what we wanted.
I can't see them obviously holding it against you. They'll be totally understandable and just be like, look, as soon as you're available, let us know.
Yeah, I don't know if you know the story of what happened on the 30th of March. For the so we were meant to be in a tag team triple threat match, and to go on for the tournament. And when I got asked to do the day, I couldn't do it because I was taking my mum to see James Blunt. So anyway, I got asked, "Oh, can you do like a promo? Like, can you go through like a sickness angle or like an injury, something like that?" And I'm like, "Bro, just tell them I have to go see James Blunt with my mum. It's way funnier, like the actual truth." And then I'd sent him some stuff over, and Bandicoot ended up just jumping on the mic and just going, "Do you know what, Jake's just it's Jake's mum's 60th birthday. Jake's mum's 60th birthday. She was going to see James Blunt with him, and everyone's like, Jake's mum on the recording." So yeah, that warmed my heart up. Like a bit of FOMO because I was upset to be missing that show, especially being in a match with like Rampage and stuff like that. But it is what it is. You just kind of got to get past that. Sometimes you just got to put other commitments in life. I've spent 10 years. I spent 10 years making wrestling my number one thing in the world. This year, I'm doing what I want, right? And that's just kind of what my year's all about this year. Just kind of getting out there and both wrestling as much as I can, but also not putting myself into the ground.
Finding that balance, basically. Yeah, you got to find that balance of other stuff as well. And dude, it's a James Blunt concert, for God's sake, you can't miss that. That's just
It was absolutely excellent. It was so good. Like it was so good. Like I really rated it. My mum had a good time. Yeah, it was just a class night. But yeah, I think Amir Jordan filled in for me that night. So thank you, Amir Jordan. He's also the reason why CrashBoat are a team. Because originally when we were booked at Tidal, it was meant to be me and him as a tag team. But he ended up pulling out to do some NGW stuff. And anyway, like, I was like, I've got this guy, Jack Bandicoot, and he'd not even wrestled 5 matches at that point, and I'd already managed to get him on like a massive Tidal show. And then, yeah, that's how we were originally called Team Defend Pop Punk, but Jack's more hip hop than pop punk. He does like his pop punk, like he pretends he doesn't, but he loves the story so far. He loves some 41. He loves a lot of the main ones. Don't
You're
let
wearing him down.
Yeah,
You're wearing him down. You get his
if
defenses down.
if he asks, he likes hip hop.
It's all about the Onyx and the Wu-Tang and all the old
that
school.
is exactly.
Dude, because I did notice, obviously, you're like looking through your stuff, and I noticed earlier on, kind of thing, that obviously, you and Jack had numerous matches against each other, kind of thing. Which obviously, it happens a lot with, because obviously you're comfortable working with each other, you know each other's chemistry, kind of thing. But yeah, it did jump out at me, like bottom half of the page on one of the cage matches. It was just like, Jake versus Jack, Jake versus Jack, Jake versus Jack.
Yeah. That was very much something that goes on quite a lot. I think we've gone against each other at Tidal twice. I think at Grapple we must have gone against each other about 5 times. Where I think I won my first title, the Velocity title. So yeah, I've gone against Jack in singles quite a lot, but he's my boy. I like to tag with him.
That's it. And absolutely. Like I said, obviously, you're doing something right. You're ticking the boxes. I'm not throwing the top 5. Anybody who knows me knows I love and respect my top 5s. If I say anybody's in the top 5, that means that's a shine. You're getting some sort of love. So yeah, for me to say CrashBoat in the top 5, dude,
I appreciate that.
But yeah, obviously, you mentioned Tidal, you mentioned Grapple. So I'll tick the generic box. Let's talk. So obviously, was Grapple your first sort of school, or was that kind of where you just started to find your feet? Or I know a lot of people kind of within this area, obviously, went through Grapple.
Yeah. So yeah, I literally think it was I've been wrestling about 10, 11 years now. I remember it was like a cold November night. I was like throwing a party, and like my girlfriend at the time was there, and I ended up driving her home and breaking up with her, like just general like chat. But when I came back, I come back to this party and I'm like, I've got loads of time now. I've just like broke up with my girlfriend. What do I do? I was like, I might get into some kind of sport. And then like my mate was like, you should come to like a pro wrestling class. And I was like, at this point, honestly, about 11 years ago, I thought they were just WWE. I didn't even know about indie wrestling. I knew about TNA and stuff like that, but like I assumed it was just like WWE that kind of did that. So yeah, I ended up turning to grapple classes, which was Paul Parizio. So he went through first few classes, and then eventually JC took over. So yeah, JC is probably my biggest inspiration in the whole of wrestling, from start to finish, from those early grapple days to me running a promotion. Obviously we both run 2 Leeds promotions. We're constantly in contact with each other. He's always helping me out. I know on my first few shows he had True Grit actually share the Planet stuff. So yeah, it's really cool that like me and JC has just been like a great mentor throughout the whole of it. I'm so grateful that he's around and he's always got my back.
That's it. I mean, anybody, I've spoken to, again, numerous people about True Grit. If you're going to have a mentor, somebody who kind of can point you in the right direction when it comes to promoting, JC's up there, as one being True Grit has got that reputation now from when I speak to talent, as being one of the best places to work. It's just so well organized. Bobby Cash is joking, like, even though it's the ring announcer, like a week before the show, he's got a fucking call sheet of like, stuff. Damn, how organized is this place?
Yeah. No. That's how JC does it. He's very good, very organised. Not like the chaos of Planet Wrestle where we and I was like, why is John Cena here? like, just get Axel the Clown randomly. I give Axel the Clown full freedom of whatever he wants in the matches, and he brought John Cena out at my show. So that's the dream. There were no call. There was no call sheet. There was no agreeing on that. That was just
Just
Axel.
Axel.
Axel. That is Axel. Love him.
Dude, I was at that show. I'm so glad. I was talking to you before, and I was like, I need to be at the show. I need to get to the show. I need to get to the show.
No, it was great. It was great seeing you in the crowd. I remember seeing you out there, and I was like, yes.
Yeah. Mate, honestly, my first experience, I've watched Planet matches on YouTube. Thankfully, you've got a good YouTube presence. You put stuff on YouTube. So if I don't make it to a show, I can watch it on there. Be there in person, mate. Oh, yeah, that John Cena bit just absolutely howling. But it was just, anybody who doesn't know or hasn't been, if you can get to a Planet show, please go support them.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's just a lot of fun. Right, elephant in the room then when it comes to Planet. Obviously, people are sat here. If we've got Planet fans watching right now, they're sat here, they're listening to you and being like, Jake sounds different. What's with the accent, dude?
So the accent, obviously, the pop. I'm called the PopPunk kid, and it was a big thing in the late noughties where all these bands were just putting on American accents, all these English bands. So I kind of did that. And then I was this is before I was a wrestler, actually. I used to be like, what's up, dude? I'm in a band called Left of the Lights. They were completely fake. And I started doing this accent. And then when JC was running these character classes, it was like, oh, do a character, and I just did my normal character, but who I am as a person, and did it in this accent, and everyone was like, oh, it goes right through you. It was very Bo Dallas-y. That's what everybody was, because Bo Dallas was quite big back then, and it's my favourite character in the world is the Pop Punk Kid. It's me just turned up to 11. I have a little backstory about how I run into mosh pits. Now I got banned from all the mosh pits in the country. So the only way I can do it is fighting and stuff like that. When reality I'm just a little posh kid. And then if I'd ever get beaten down, I'd be like, my parents will sue you. Unfortunately, I've now got a beard and I'm 30 years old, so I can't really get away with being a 20 like I was when I was 20. So yeah, the accent is kind of a bit of taking the mick out of Blink 182, but there's also something on YouTube called Every Pop Punk Vocalist Ever. If you get a chance to watch that on YouTube, that's Jared Alonge is who my character is based on. He took the mick out of all these pop punk singers back in the day. And if you get a chance to watch it on YouTube, he's also brought out loads of albums and stuff. I don't know if you've ever heard my entrance music, All the Old Things. No, me and Jack come out to All the Old Things at North, and then there's a song called Take It Easy Car that I used to come out with. But yeah, Sunrise Skater Kids, Jared Alonge, that's where my whole accent and pop punk kid character comes from, is from this one YouTube clip. I've been in contact with him before too. I've messaged him and he's like, oh, that's cool as well. He was like, I'd give you some advice, but I know nothing about wrestling. But yeah, he's cool as well. He's Jared, and if you get a chance to look at his YouTube stuff, it's hilarious. Very comparable to me.
That's my evening sorted. That's me when my other half goes to bed. Right, YouTube, looking at all this sort of stuff. I can find it. I'll link it in the episode as well for everybody else's viewing pleasures. The Planet as well. The nut shots spot is, mate. You're just a sucker. You're just like a glutton for punishment. You're literally. Mate, I say, I tip my hat to you, because that is a spot and a half. That just it invokes genuine. Ooh.
There's meant to be a build to that. So usually there's a big build, and then that happens. They decided on the last show, the kids have just got so confident, they're just running and just kick me. There was no choice in it. There was no, the kid just got in, kicked me, and then another one got in, and I was just like, what is going on? And the second one, oh my God. Oh my god, bam! Like it's not having kids anymore. Like,
He was kicking for the fences that second one. The first one, all credit to Nikki. First one, very respectful, just like, okay, yeah,
there's
bosh.
there's
Second
a
kid, no.
Yeah, there's a clip of that happening 5 years ago, again at a Mega Slam show in Dewsbury, where the same kid kicked me. So, it was Nikki's kid, so like there's quite a funny thing from that. But yeah, I need to stop doing that spot if
Oh, dude, get a cup. Just no point in
nah,
mistake.
we're good, we're good. I'll just avoid that happening.
In the words of Radu, just a couple of red stripes, couple of aspirins, jobs are good. Oh man, I said it made me wince. But yeah, obviously, like I said, we know Top Planet, Top North. Yeah, I mean, CrashBoat are, I would say, one of the best well-travelled sort of
Yeah.
teams. That's it kind of, it reminds me of like, well, a conversation we had yesterday, but it's very old school in like, you put the miles in, you put the hours in, like you guys
Yeah.
get around.
Yeah.
You all right on the road? Do you mind that, or is it a chore? Or some people love it, some people are
it,
just like,
Well, when me and Jack were driving round, petrol was a lot cheaper back in the day. It's expensive now. Like from a promoting point of view, I can see why everyone sticks to the local talent because it's very, unless you're putting those tickets at like 20 quid each and like, making it quite spenny. It's hard to get people outside of like Yorkshire, even for me, obviously as a promoter. So, but like back in the day, like we used to do your TNTs, your BWRs, your Norths. We still do that. We still get asked about that and we still do those shows and stuff like that. But, I can see from like a promoting point of view, it's very hard to like do the traveling and stuff like that because it's just expensive. But yeah, me and Jack we've done because we both drive. It's been very very helpful. It used to have like a 1997 Rover that we do it on, and we once brought back on way to London, and it was awful. We didn't get back till 4 in the morning. We both had work at 7. I can tell you that journey was not good, but usually me and Bandicoot are singing in the car, singing some Whitney Houston and all that lot. That's usually our vibe. Whitney, Avril Lavigne, stuff like that.
right, I need to get a mix right because I've got you and Jack singing Whitney Houston. I've got Tim
Yeah.
Strange and Lou Nixon singing Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. Oh, Miley Cyrus is one of Jack's favourite songs is Party in the USA. He's a Miley Cyrus, but he loves that song.
Wow. Right. Okay. This is going to become a thing on future episodes. When I know people in the car, I'm just going to get them to give me a song. I'm going to compile a playlist, and it will just be like, yeah, you guys.
I was more Hannah Montana back in the day. I was like, I like Miley Cyrus before she was cool. I watched the Disney Channel.
Dude. But yeah, it's obviously, yeah, you got the miles, you got the car travels. Like you said, though, yeah, I mean, I suppose now, it's better now as well, though, in the sense of you've got more guys to kind of tap up. Obviously, talking to you as a promoter, you've got, there's a dude in Yorkshire, there's an abundance of fucking talent, just on your doorstep, that if you're running a show, you can tap up and be like, you don't need to bring, I don't want to say it's territorial, but it's kind of getting kind of back to the old school days of, there's a bunch of great talent in Yorkshire, there's a bunch of great talent in Lancashire, there's a bunch of great talent in the Northeast or Northwest. You kind of got that big pot to just pull people out of.
To be honest, Planet was mainly like started as a bit of a PPW setup. Like, it was started on from like Nathan and Liam doing such an excellent job there. And like I say, your True Grits are excellent, and your Rises. I kind of wanted something a little bit like a bit family-ish just before then. So all these wrestlers, Axel the Clown, Chili Heatwave, do you know what I mean? Or, what's it called? Jay Vertigo, all these like amazing wrestlers. And what they can do is they can wrestle on Planet, they can have a load of fun, and then it just kind of puts them in the eyes of the other promoters in Yorkshire, and pretty much all around, to be honest. So I'm wanting Rise and True Grit to book all these guys. That's one of the aims of it being a step up. As fun as the shows are, one of the main things I like it to be affordable. I want the kids the kids and the families, you know, to get into it, come to these shows, enjoy it up close, right up to the like, you know, ring as close as can be. It was never initially meant to be recorded or anything like that, but yeah, we ended up having a camera guy come, and it was like, oh, we may as well get this, and then it's just become like a YouTube like thing of me just doing it. Unfortunately, I do a lot of the editing, so it's not very good on YouTube. So if you realise why it's all fuzzy, it's because I have to do the editing myself, and I am not a video editor. It's not my main job.
Get Jeebus involved.
Oh no, Jeebus is real. Yeah. He knows what he's doing.
But yeah, that's it. I mean, like I say, yeah, but you know, you're pulling guys. You know, when you're looking for people to book for Planet, like I said, yeah, you don't have to go that far. You don't even have to go out of like. To be fair, yeah, you know, honestly, you've got the connections with Pursuit. You've got anybody knows this channel knows me knows with my love and admiration for Pursuit. You've just got a pool of talent there as well that you can be like, yep, sort of posh, bish, bash. And I like seeing the guys. Like I say, it gives them a bit more experience. So obviously Jay Vertigo worked York, True Grit, so you know he's hopefully he's gonna be on future True Grit shows. So hopefully him and Brandon Butcher hacking and slashing in Tidal and BWR. So the talent's out there, dude.
Vertigo was we used to wrestle quite a lot together in the Mega Slam days of like kind of late 2020s kind of thing. And when I learned a lot of moves just kind of from Vertigo, because both me and him have been going for quite a while now. Vertigo was quite on a lot of family shows and everything, and he's just wanted that like kind of indie level step up kind of thing. So he's finally getting there. He's getting your BWR stuff. He's getting your True Grit stuff. So he's doing really, really well. He's Vertigo, and I'm really, really happy. Like, especially to give him opportunities at Planet. He's always been super duper helpful. When I was setting up the ring the other day at Planet, though, like I was like. I put the ring up and everything, and he's like, "Oh, these ropes, and I was like, "Do you know what, mate? I'm in the comedy match. You're in the indie match. You can sort the ropes out yourself."
You need them. I don't. Yeah.
They worked out in the end, but what's it called? That old grapple ring that we use, that's mine. Is that so? It needs a bit of TLC work, does that? But it's one of the rare lower setting rings. There's quite a lot of rings that you can't fit around. It's very rare that you come across those. So I use that. But when it comes to like sometimes the ropes, it doesn't bother me because all I do is get caught in them and get some kid to kick me in nuts. That tends to be like 75% of my match, while Vertigo's trying to have this big indorific, hitting all the cool moves, and I'm just like, yeah, you can sort the ropes out, mate.
Yeah, it makes sense. You need to use them. You get them to how you need them to be. That's it. Jobs are good. And you mentioned like Mega Slam. That's their promotion involved quite well traveled. Don't really have any presence. Some people might know of them. Some people, again, if you know them, you know them. If you don't, you don't, kind of thing. They're not very. They're obviously they sell their tickets on name. Everybody knows. If you know Mega Slam, you know it. Kirby, guys like that all work. How did you find sort of Mega Slam? Because it's a bit different to the other promotion.
It's honestly like some of my favourite type of wrestling is that I'm big on character stuff, but like as a wrestler, I'm family. Like that's always been my favourite type. The chicken chants, the stuff like that. Really, really easy stuff. And at one point for like Mega Slam for like 2 years, I was working for him like 3 shows a weekend or something like that. We do like the full camp shows and everything like that. With 2 weeks of just non-stop wrestling 2 or 3 times a day. Like different show. You take the ring down, take the ring down, put it up, wrestle, take it down. You just be doing that non-stop. It does get to you, does that, like when you're just wrestling that much, but it very much gave me the steps in wrestling that I needed to get to, because I was working there practically like full time. But yeah, Mega Slam was a big like part of like where I got to that family, and I hope that Planet one day can get to that level that they do. But at the moment, I'm basing it on like affordable, so the social clubs work out for that. I don't really want to like at the moment book halls, massive like theatres and stuff like that. I just want to stick to like little social clubs and stuff like that. But Mega Slam's like grown above that now. Because they do all the theatres and stuff. It gives probably Planet a bit of more of a chance, to get on these, do these social club venues and stuff like that. So
That's it. It's those stepping stones. You kind of fill in. They progress. You kind of follow, kind of suit. But
exactly.
No, I wouldn't want Planet to kind of be another Mega Slam kind of thing. Planet's Planet. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it's way wackier than that. Like,
Exactly.
it's like I say, when you got Axel the Clown on a show, it's going to be something different every single time.
I mean, that the thing with Mega Slam though was that I was getting at, because obviously I speak to people who have worked at the holiday circuits, the camps, and things like that, and pretty much everybody I've spoken to that's worked it is a massive advocate of it. They kind of put it down to like it's.
You learn the craft.
Yes, you've got to do it. You benefit so much from doing it because you learn from repetition. Because you're doing it in front of people who aren't necessarily wrestling fans. You have to turn your game up. You have to be able to interact with the audience. You have to hold their attention more, and you learn what doesn't work.
Yeah, definitely. It's like at the moment, I probably wrestle maybe 4 times a month or something like that, which I'm absolutely happy with. I've got I'm working with Rise, I'm working with loads and loads of good companies. But at Mega Slam, you were wrestling the singles, then you're wrestling a tag, then you're moving to another venue, then you're wrestling the singles, wrestling a tag, and then do you know what I mean? You're wrestling 4 times in a day, never mind 4 times, in a month. Like that's just the difference. And I think a lot of young wrestlers do need that. At the moment, I do not have that energy to wrestle as much as I used to back in the day. I've got
Dude, you've been there. You've been there, you paid your dues, you've done what you needed to do, you've learned what you needed to learn. That's it. It's fine. No, you don't need to be doing it anymore.
Yeah.
But definitely recommended for people, starting out, in their early 20s with a bit more energy. If they get a chance to do it, do it.
Yeah, no, doing the camps is amazing. I'd love for Planet to do some camps eventually. I know that I was a bit annoyed when I did Lowmore show last year. Tim Strange had actually messaged me and he's like, "Oh, I've got this camp show if you're available to do it." I had the insurance, I had the bar, I had everything, but I was just like, I'm putting on a show the night before. And I've got work on Monday. It will absolutely kill me if I go do that. But I'm hoping I get another opportunity to do some camps. I'd love to get Planet involved with that, and especially get the PPW guys on. That'd be like the main aim is, to get them on there, because I had so much fun back in the day. And I'm hoping that like quite a lot of wrestlers will get to experience that on camps.
That's it, man. Definitely, yeah, man. Well, fingers crossed, because that'd be amazing. Just for you, for Planet, for everybody else that's involved, that would be, that's kind of like the next step. It's brand exposure.
Yeah.
And like I said, yeah, for guys in pursuit, like we've just been saying, that kind of holiday camp thing, I think, as great as Pursuit is, and that I don't think it is, that camp situation is, the next step in the learning curve. So it'll be great for them.
Yeah. That's it. It's mega, like I say, like those camps and Mega Slam, big part of wrestling. It's where you learn the craft of just moving around the ring, working a crowd and everything like that. And also doing the same spots on an adult show completely works. Never put that past, when they're creating stuff or creating moves, I was like, just do the stuff they do on camps, gets over just as well. I've done so much on Rise shows where I've just done the exact same thing I've done on a Mega Slam show, and the pop for just as well, because they're just happy to see that kind of stuff.
Well, that's it. It's the variety, isn't it? Yeah, just because it works on them, it doesn't mean it's going to work on, I don't know what if you want to call them, the smart fans, or the wrestling fans kind of thing. No, we appreciate that kind of shit as much as your family do and stuff like that as well. So if it's fun and if it's entertaining, any true wrestling fan is going to pop for it, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
So, right, quick question. Right, go back to. Can we pull the curtain back a little bit? Can you tell me who was under the John? Who the hell was John Cena at Planet?
It's John Cena. Didn't you see him? Like 100%, turned up. He turned up at WrestleMania like the next day. It was a big flight for him. No, it was a wrestler from PPW called Joe Champion. Lovely lad. He is. He's upset me a few times because what we do is we play something called horse at training, which is where you've got to do like a cool move or something like that. For instance, I can do backflips. I can do the worm. I do. I can also do this roll back headstand. I've got loads of talent. What he does is he climbs to the top rope, jumps off, and takes a big back bump. And it's like, so he just bumps like no other. And I'm like, I don't want to do that on a Thursday night. I don't want to jump as high as I can and take a big back bump onto the. And I was just like, do you know what? I'm not a fan of this guy. But yeah, he messaged us to help out at Planet, and then what's it called? Yeah, he turned up and I guess dressed as John Cena.
There we go. That's the reason I was asking, because I knew somebody would be under there, and I knew somebody should take the credit for it, because they came out, they worked the audience, they worked it perfectly, kind of thing. So kudos to Mr. Champion, absolutely smashed it. So I'm a little bit sad though that I've ruined kayfabe for myself, and it wasn't actually John Cena.
Oh, really? we almost fooled you.
This close, man. This close. Except I'll put it down. All the movie success is what made his head get too big.
Peacemaker is great.
Oh, dude. Yes, I still haven't watched it yet, but everybody I know, it's one of those shows. Everyone's like, "You watched it?" No, not yet. Dude, no, not yet.
Our lass is currently obsessed with Suicide Squad at the moment. It's a new hyperfixation of whatever she's obsessed with at the moment, and it's Suicide Squad. She's been playing the game, so she's obsessed with that, and now she's like, "Let's watch this. Let's watch this." We ended up watching the first Suicide Squad, and that was. It wasn't good. No, it was a film. It was a Will Smith film, and then the second one I actually really liked. But anything with Cena in to me, I absolutely love. I think he's great.
Obviously, the second one, had the James Gunn fingerprints all over it. He worked his magic with Guardians. He then turned up and made Suicide Squad an absolute force. And John Cena, Idris Elba, absolute boss in it, kind of thing.
So so I think I got about 4 episodes into Peacemaker. Still got the rest to watch, but I'm waiting for Rebecca to. We're going to watch Suicide Squad, and then we're going to probably get onto Peacemaker and all that to go through all them. Because she started buying old comics and everything like that. So I look forward to that.
Nice. Right. Okay. Well, dude, get them read, and you can come on to a future comic book episode.
Yeah, no. To be honest, most of my comics are all like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe and stuff like that. Just I've got a few. I would not call myself a fan. I'd be very good at bringing us like the basic comic fan. Or I'm very similar with wrestling, to be honest. For instance, 10, 11 years ago, I didn't think indie wrestling existed. And then there's a lot of gaps in wrestling, which Jack loves to point out that, he knows there's knowledge. He knows the years I've not watched wrestling. So he'll know, to be able to point it out.
Dude. So basically, so any weak spots, any blind spots in the history, that he's just pointing them out, and he's being like, right, so what happened in this year? And it's like,
Yeah, to be honest, it's mainly Ruthless Aggression. I think that was the. I think I watched it till about 2006, and then I didn't really start watching wrestling again until the Zack Ryder, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk kinda. I think it was like the summer of Punk. I think it was literally within the month of the Pipe Bomb. But I think I was only watching the SmackDown at that point, just because I was watching what was ever on TV.
I'm right there with you. I think I literally stopped at about 2007 and then came back in the summer of Punk, kind of thing. So we have the same blind spots in that sense. So it's sometimes you need to step away from it to appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. No, I love wrestling. I think Zack Ryder was probably Matt Cardona was my favorite. Like, he's everything he was doing in WWE at the time. He's absolutely killing it in the Indies now. He's a guy that I've absolutely loved, since day one. So big fan of Matt Cardona.
The indie god. It's to me, he's one of those guys that kind of stood out. I still legitimately pissed that he kind of got one of the few guys that gets punished for getting himself over. And I'll die on that hill. I will sort of say, Billy Mack, he pissed him off. He got himself over and he got punished for it, which is crazy in wrestling, man. You get yourself over, you should shake your hand and be like, oh, thank you. You've made yourself a star for us. But it's like, no, we didn't make you a star.
He's killing it now, though. There's no, no mistakes or anything. I think everything, the way wrestling's gone. Daniel Bryan, he was like, one of my favorites, going through, I think when I just joined back, the old yes thing, everything he was doing. So simple, so good. I used to go to festivals and everyone would just start chanting yes. Because it used to be like a thing where everyone would chant butt scratcher, because the Family Guy. And then I remember the year that stopped, it was the year that everyone was going, yes. So yeah, big Daniel Bryan fan me. I have still not watched the Osprey thing that he had the other night. Brian Danielson, should I call him? I'm going to call everyone by the WWE names. That's what I'm all about.
I won't begrudge you it at all. For the majority of the audience, it helps them understand. As much as I would love for more people to watch AEW, obviously WWE is the monopolizing company. They have got the trademark on everyone. So yeah. Plus, to be fair, mate, you say it for like 10 years, it gets stuck in your head. I still say Daniel Bryan, and I watch AEW, and I'm like, oh, I should have learned by now. But it's like, no,
to be honest, I don't think it's because they're in WWE. I think it's just because I always stick to the first name I know about someone, especially in like wrestling. For instance, Scott Oberman, absolutely, he's doing really, really well. Do you know all that stuff he's doing in TNT? Whenever I speak to him, I'm like, Seth Skyline, how you doing? He's like, don't do that. And I was like, Seth Skyline, I know you. And Ellis Barker, I'll never not call him the Banshee. He was the Banshee back in the day. And he's like, will you please stop calling me that? And I was like, never, you will be the Banshee for life. So yeah, I am the worst for like carrying on calling people names that they don't want to be called anymore. But it's stuck in like WWE. So I was obviously a big fan of everybody, like Zack Ryder's and stuff like that. So I'll probably just carry on calling him that.
Dude, can't follow you. Just don't ever meet Kane and call him Isaac Yankum. That will not go down well. But the Banshee thing, Ellis. I won't take that away from you, but that's just I'm going to have to resist temptation now. Anytime that I message him or talk to him, just to just refer to him as a Banshee.
Just call him the Banshees, just continuously. El Banshee.
Right. So, talking watching wrestling, this is what always kind of interests me as well, is whether people can kind of switch off. Some people can, some people can't. Some people are able to still enjoy wrestling as a fan. Other people I know I've talked to, they'll sit there and they'll watch it, and they'll literally sit there with like a pen and paper and be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And are you able to just distance yourself, or are you still a wrestling fan? Or is it just
definitely a wrestling fan. I think a big aim for me and Jack is, and we've always said it, we don't want to be a rip-off of anybody. So I feel like sometimes when like a lot of people watch wrestling, they're like, oh, I should try that move out. I should do that. I feel like our creative kind of stuff comes from us. So I think we quite avoid pulling off too much in wrestling. I think we kind of stick to our own thing. So whenever I watch anything, I watch a lot more AEW than WWE, purely because it's free. Purely because it's free on ITV. It has nothing to do with the product. One's free and one is moved to TNT Sports. So I'm not going to watch it because I don't have it. So I watch a lot of matches like on AEW and stuff like that, but I watch it as a fan. Not particularly watched it too much recently because it's mainly MJF I'm a fan of. Like, absolutely, like, he's just a god. Like, well, the devil. His match with Adam Cole was probably one of my favourite matches of all time, at Wembley. It was so good because it was like a camp show match. Like they were getting all the crowd going, they were getting the t-shirts. Excellent stuff. And I watched it on the worst stream ever. Like it was a dodgy stream, and I still enjoyed the match so much. And I've just repeatedly watched that match. Just because I love MJF, everything that he's done recently. I love the fact that when he was in AEW, when he was the champion, he was just feuding with loads of different people. You was like, wait a minute, is it Switchblade? Is it Samoa Joe? Is it, he was getting everyone involved in the title picture. And I felt like that's what JBL used to do back in the day. And like, when he was doing like, he had like a fatal four-way with like Booker T, Eddie Guerrero, The Undertaker. I love it when loads of people are involved in the title picture rather than just one. I like everybody to be involved.
Share the love, share the appreciation, share the opportunities. That goes to show, man, like you sort of said earlier, but about campsite wrestling, how that shit kind of works in front of your mainstream wrestling fans. Like you said, Adam Cole, MJF, that match would not look out of place at like a Butlins or something. Quality, aside, but just the blueprint for that match.
What did there were a thing WWE did a few years ago. I think Mixed Max Challenge. Where they had like the intergender wrestling. That was excellent. That was camp show wrestling on TV. It was absolutely nuts. I absolutely loved that random thing, of like Goldust just going round and like, I can't remember who he was tagging with, but like that was excellent. That was just camp show wrestling on live TV, because they just completely forgot about every storyline they'd ever done and then just decided to go do some random stuff. And that was a great time for wrestling, like when they were doing Mixed Match Challenge.
So that's cool though. At least, like you sort of said, you're able to kind of switch off. You still, you're just a fan. Like you said, obviously, the reason I watch AEW over WWE is because it's free. It's like I used to watch TNA back in the day over WWE. Again, Bravo. God bless Bravo.
Exactly.
Give me the free stuff. If it's as good as, awesome. If it's not, it's free.
Yeah. Completely. That's pretty much it. And I think that WWE or maybe just Raw is moving to Netflix soon. I think that's so that'll be the dream. Being able to get that through there. Because I've wanted them to move to a streaming thing, because that's all I want is everything to move to Amazon. That'd be so much easier. Like, I'm sick of paying Sky prices. Sky just need to go away, and BT and all that lot. Just give it to your Netflixes, give it to your Amazons, give it to your all those big ones, because that's the future, in my opinion.
As long as it's on Amazon and not on a sub channel of Amazon.
No.
Like Paramount Plus. It's like, I pay for Amazon and I'm paying for Paramount Plus. Why am I doing this? But I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I need Paramount Plus.
It's a similar thing. Like, it's how I feel about football. So what's it called? Back in the day, back in the 90s and stuff like that, everybody enjoyed football because it was on TV. You could go watch it. Anybody could watch it. All the kids were obsessed with it. You need the Sky Sports package and TNT to even get the chance of seeing a game. So nobody's a fan of football anymore. Unless you can afford that, or you have a dodgy stick or something. It's not as available, and that's the problem with WWE at the moment. Like, it's now on BT and TNT, so not every average Joe's going to watch it. While AEW is on ITV, you can watch that. Don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of adverts. And I feel like everything needs to be affordable, for to go into it. Which is Planet, it's 10 quid a ticket or 7 quid for a kid's ticket or 30 quid for, it's absolutely nothing. I think a family come up to us, and one of dads were just like, I took my kid to see Sheffield Wednesday the other day. It cost 50 quid a ticket to see them lose, and then I've managed to get my whole family in here for 30 quid, and they've had an absolute amazing night. It's that kind of entertainment, and I think things need to be much more. They need
accessible.
Yeah, they need to stop with the money now. They just need to let it be accessible. Don't get me wrong, you can charge for a pay-per-view, that's absolutely fine. But they need to get all the wrestling WWE. It needs to be back on like you say, your Netflixes. I'm hoping that once that gets in, I'm hoping there's not a sub level to it that you have to buy. I'm hoping it's
I'm glad
just
with that. Yeah, it's like it turns out it's not Raw. It's like Sunday Night Heat or something. It's like no, you have to pay an extra for 10 quid a month for Raw.
I still watched that back in the day. Yeah, so the Hurricane and what's it called, Scotty Too Hot, it was nuts when we wrestled at North and we were in the main event against Boisterous Behaviour. CrashBoat, absolutely bigged up match. Scotty Too Hot on the mid card, and I'm like, yo, I used to watch you all the time, and then it was cool as hell being able to main event that show, and no matter what I can do. We headlined a show that Scotty Too Hot were on. So
Did you get a chance to obviously, you pick his brain, you get to talk to him? Because I know, obviously, we're part of the Jonas Network. I know Jonas is good mates with Scott Garland. He's had him on his show a few times. He seems like a very cool guy, very chilled out.
I did I think back in 2014, 2015 it might have been. It was very, very long time ago. I did it with Too Cool seminar. So that was quite cool doing it with those two. So I've done training seminars and stuff, and I got him to sign my little Scotty Too Hotty what's it called figure that I've got in there. The ink has currently fallen off, but he got signed by Scotty Too Hotty. But yeah, I think everybody was speaking to him at North, so I think it were a bit overwhelmed. Like I didn't want to go up to him too much and speak. I know Rebecca went and got a picture with him, so that was quite nice. But yeah, I didn't speak to him too much at North, but I'll always have that on my record that we were in the main event.
And you're like, okay. That seminar, the Too Cool one, was you there with Aidan Sparks by any chance?
I can't remember him being there.
Because he mentioned that he'd done a seminar with Too Cool when I spoke to him a few weeks ago, and they probably did a few, but I was just wondering if it was the same one.
It was Hope, so it was in Mansfield. That's where I remember doing it.
No. Yeah, I think it was in Sheffield. I think it was through Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah. I think that they did the week ones because I did a Drew Galloway one in a dodgy social club for Phoenix, and it was so funny. He turned up, did Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway, or whatever. He was hungover as anything, and he's there just eating these burgers from McDonald's. He just had a big pile of burgers, and he's just eating them, just explaining wrestling. You can tell he had no plan, and all 30 of us were just yeah. We were just happy to learn off Drew, and now look at him now. He's one of the biggest stars in the world, and we got taught by him to wrestle in a dodgy social club in Sheffield.
Wrestling, it's awesome.
Yeah. I was in a Rumble on that show too, so I can also say I've wrestled on the same show as Drew Galloway. There were quite a lot of people on that show. I think there was Chris Masters. There are absolutely loads. I don't know how they managed to fit them all in this social club. It was a good. Grado was on there. What a great little event.
I say, man, when you look back on it and think, wow, it's crazy. Because again, I was speaking to Aidan, he was on about that show kind of thing, and he was saying, Chris Masters was kind of wandering around, it was just a really surreal sight seeing Chris Masters walking around at the back of this social club kind of thing, getting lost. You got to go in the lift, or it's first go on the left or something. It's just what time is it? 4:20. Okay, I don't need this.
Yeah, that is one of our. That is a Chris Masters story that I love. I know that there was a referee that was really nervous to referee his match, and I'd know because I'd ended up driving him home, and he got in car, and apparently Chris Masters went up to him and he was like, "Hey bro, what's up? You all good?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just a bit nervous," and he just goes, "Good job, we got some weed," like that. This was a long time ago, but the whole back area just stunk. I'm good with that.
Obviously, the dude, he was at Pursuit recently. Did you get to be? Did he remember you? Was you at that session? Or?
No, I didn't make it to that session, unfortunately. Like I say, because it's Sheffield. It's quite a big travel, like, you know, over there. At one point we were going absolutely every week with me and Bandicoot, but it gets to you, does, like, just life in general, like, you know, you've got to work, and I found myself like quite tired going into work, so I get to pursue whenever I can, but at the moment I'm just not there as much. But yeah, I ended up missing that seminar, unfortunately, but yeah, anytime Chris Masters is back, I'll be there. The Master Lock. Oh, so what a great time for wrestling that was. Like, I remember seeing him and Lashley back in the day, and I was like, those are the boys. Those are what wrestlers look like. Bobby Lashley and Chris Masters.
That's like you said, it's the land of the giants. You know, like you sort of said, you could watch your TNAs and stuff like that, but if you watch WWE, yeah, you guys were just jacked. Except for Mr. I tell Jack that I pop every time he does the Randy Savage tribute. We were talking about earlier, about you're not what paid tribute. You know, like you've got your own stuff, except for that one spot when Jack does the Bandicoot Savage spot.
Yeah,
pop me every time. Massive mark for Randy Savage.
No, he's got his bandy. Yeah, like I say, you've got to have those camp show feels. I was meant to do the HBK thing on the last Planet show. Unfortunately, the Music Man was already on his feet. So if you watch that on YouTube, you'll see me do a really speeded up version of tuning up the band, and it's awful. Like, you could see me go. Like, and blinded it, because I'd like just kicked into the floor, gone for pin, and then I was ready to do tune up the band, and he was already on his feet, and I'm like, for God's sake.
Stay down.
Stay down, for God's sake.
Dude, got to ask as well though, and again, anybody knows, recently for True Grit, you know, you've had a couple of matches. I was going to say a couple of matches against Music and Shreddy. Obviously, Shreddy missed the last one, so it was just Music and Sash. Loved both of those matches, dude. Again, massive mark for True Grit. Well, how did you find working Music and Shreddy? To me, are a team just kind of like would be a lot of fun to work against.
I've worked with Shreddy for absolutely years. He's absolutely great, Shreddy, especially getting the crowd going. But Vusic, I'm a big fan of him. I'm like a big fan of him as an actual thing. Big meaty bang, like. All my mates at work, whenever they see the clips of Vusic like beating me up, they're like, "My God, that must hurt." And I was like, "If I'm ever going to show them a clip, it's Vusic beating me up, because he's good." It
looks legitimate. It looks legitimate.
Yeah.
It gets your sympathy.
A dream match I want at Planet, and I think it needs a good one. I'd love to see Vusic against Lou Newton. I would absolutely, those two absolutely caving each other in. I think that's a Planet booking there. Like, we'd need to think of the right place, though. You couldn't just do that anywhere. That'd be an excellent match.
Dude. Oh, you can't think. Oh, I speak to people. People are like, "Oh, this match this would be awesome." You know, Aiden was on about wanting a match against BA Rose. Music against Lou, though. You put that out in the universe, mate, and I'm seriously just sat here like, this needs to happen now.
Yeah. Like I say, it's just as soon as Planet grows a little bit, I'll be able to kind of like book some guys a bit more out. I know, like I'd like to get Isaac North in and stuff like that a bit more. He was at my first show. He was very helpful, but you know, that's where I want to get to. I want to be able to like bring more cars in from all around. But yeah, that's a dream match. I want to see Vusic and Lou wrestle. I think that those two would have an absolute banger.
There would everything. It just certain matches you get that genuine ooh noise.
Yeah.
I think that match would just be the soundtrack of that match would just be people going ooh wee. Isaac North, I was talking camp wrestling. Obviously, he's somebody who embodies that. He gets that, and I think he'd be awesome. You know, for Planet. You know, Isaac North. He's just, you bring him out, and the kids are going to absolutely pap themselves, and then automatically cheers for the good guy.
Yeah, no, Isaac's a good one. He's someone I've worked with like a few different shows, and yeah, he's excellent. But yeah, that's the place I want to get to. I want to be able to like plan it to grow and grow and grow to the point where we can just like bring people from all around. But at the moment, it's just like we're sticking to social clubs just for a little bit. Social club super fights. I mean,
It
what's it
works.
called? Didn't Kid Like Us 2 go against Leon Slater in America? And but no, we had that at Lowmore. We had it at Lowmore in front of 90 people.
I saw that post. I actually spat my coffee out. I was like, yes, but that's wrestling. That's the awesomeness of wrestling. You know, these matches that you can see, you know, like 1 year later in front of so many people. You trace it back. It's like, yeah, this shit happened like a year ago. It's an absolutely banging match. But yeah, it's just a totally different venue, and it's really surreal.
What's it called? No, because I'd put that Lowmore card together, and I'd so put there, and I just had Leon by himself, like, and I was like, well, who's Leon gonna go? Like, he's like one of the biggest stars on the show. Like, what do I do? And then, like, literally in the moment of thinking that, Kid Like Us 2 messages, and he's like, I would like to put my service forward for wrestling on this day, and I was like, well, it's gonna be, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to put you against someone pretty green. Unfortunately, his name is Leon Slater. So yeah, they ended up going against each other in a social club super fight, which was quite good.
Right. But no, obviously keep doing what you're doing with Planet. It's working, mate. You know, word's getting out there. So many people I know have got nothing but genuine love, and they are excited to go to Planet shows. You know, spoken to promoters that I know that have come to Planet shows, and you know, it's high up on their list. They always sort of say, without me prompting them, you know, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to the next Planet show. So
Yeah.
you know, when you've got promoters bigging up your products and being excited to go, dude, you're doing something right.
I think there's like a couple that always come, and Rebecca was chatting to them, and apparently like they don't go to any other like wrestling shows. Never been. Like they went to the first Planet show, and they've been to every one ever since. And they were like, "Oh no, it's our little date night. We come to it." And I don't think they're like big wrestling fans are, and I find that adorable that they come to my shows. I bring my parents and everything. My parents are not into wrestling at all. I've got a middle brother who's a musician that they're a big fan of. I am unfortunately the wrestler, and they're like, "Oh, it was a nice show," was that? But they're also like, why'd you get kids to kick you in the you know?
It's funny.
Yeah. I've got my dad on the last show. He was so the biggest help in Planet Wrestle. I'm gonna just give the biggest hands up to Chiller Heatwave. He is the man. He is the. I would struggle so much without him. He is just my number one. But after the last Planet show, it was my dad's birthday, and he got absolutely so drunk because it was like so cheap was to drink at that social club. So I turned up back at the house. He was hovered over the like breakfast bar drunk. And there's like burnt cheese on toast in the oven. And I'm like, "Are you all right, Dad?" And he's like, yeah. "Jake, you put on a really, really good show tonight." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Do you know what I didn't like though? The guy that was humping." And like Chili was like right behind us, and I was like, "Let's not hear that." And he was like, "I don't like that. I don't like that at all." And I was like, "Poor Chili Heatwave."
Oh, I had Chili on last week, and yeah, dude, he was bigging you up as well on there, sort of saying, you know,
Oh, good stuff.
nothing but love for Jake. So yeah, it's mutual love. I love it. Actual bromance.
Look at him now. He's doing Blackheart. He's doing True Great Planet. Yeah. I'm pushing. Whenever anyone messages me now, especially if they need my ring hire, I'm like, "You need Chill Heatwave on the show. Like, it'll be excellent. You will not regret this decision." He's somebody I'm pushing more than anyone in the world. Yeah, he's just absolutely excellent. What an absolute guy.
Yeah, I will second that. Anybody watching this, get Chili on. You know, anybody who draws inspiration from Rick Mail is A-OK in my books. And the Duke can wrestle. And yeah, he's just awesome. He's just an awesome human being. So he gets the WTLS seal of approval, if it means anything.
Yeah.
So big shout out as well. Obviously, I've hit the hour mark. I will let you go in a second. Just want to show some love to Fangirl as well. Mention her name. And just, so she knows that people are still acknowledging and appreciating. So
big Fangirl.
and we'll let her watch Suicide Squad and enjoy. Hopefully,
Sure,
it doesn't warp her mind.
We'll watch the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, not the first one to do it. Never watch the first one again. You've watched it once. It does not need watching again.
I was watching it the other day, and I was looking at it, I was like, has this ended yet? I remember, like, you know, there's so many films that I was like, has this ended yet? I just want this to end.
Dude, you know me, man. Like, you've seen my Facebook polls. You know, I do film polls every day. You know, I'm a massive film nerd. I try and see the best in all films. You know, if it entertains me just a little bit, awesome, it's done its job. That film, I was just like, no, one, done. It was close to being one of the very few films that I turned off halfway through. I've only ever done that with 2 films. But
I've done it with one film where I've been at the cinema and I was with my mates, and I remember about an hour into it, I whispered to him, I was like, look, I'm parked like 20 minutes away. If I go now, I can go get the car, I can park outside and pick it. And they're like, no, watch it. It's called Spring Breakers. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's got James Franco in. The worst film ever. If you ever want to watch the worst film ever, it's called Spring Breakers. Just watch it and you'll be like, that was the biggest waste of my time in my entire life. It is terrible.
Do you ever get a message off me saying, dude, you're a twat? I've watched that film on your recommendation. Even though you said it's the worst film ever, it's still kind of making me want to watch it now.
Yeah. It's got James Franco and 4 girls from like all the Disney era, like Selena Gomez and all that lot, and Vanessa Hudgens. And I was like, oh, it's got like some alright, you know, let's see what they do. Oh my, it's just the worst thing ever.
Right, if you take nothing else away from this podcast, a wrestling podcast, you've improved your film knowledge now, and you know never to watch that film.
Yeah.
So, dude, I'll let you crack on. Plug your socials, mate. Let where people know where they can find out about Planet, where they can find out about you, what's going on, what you got coming up.
Yeah, sounds good. So we're Planet Wrestle with an extra E on the end. For most of our socials, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Our tickets can be sold on either our Big Cartel or Eventbrite, and also any of the CrashBoat stuff. If we're ever selling anything or we tend to put it on like the Planet stuff. Just there's no point in having extra. But yeah, we stick in as much on YouTube as possible. We get all our matches recorded. Just stick them on there if it's a really nice little watch. Mr. Ricky versus Natalie Sykes has managed to reach 16,000 views on YouTube. That's a big number. Wow. Which he mentioned in his promo the other day. That is, bearing in mind the second amount of views is about 2,000. So they beat it by about like 8 times as many as Mr. Ricky versus Natalie Sykes.
That's crazy. I must admit, I kind of felt bad. Shout out to him, the dude is awesome, Mr. Ricky. But that turtleneck, I was just looking at him. I was just like, oh mate, he just looks like if I ordered Christian from Rish. I was like, just get rid of the turtleneck, please. He
messaged me beforehand because he knows I'm a proper stickler for ring gear. And what's it called? I ended up I'd give him like the pro boots, that he wears. And anyway, he'd like messaged me before, and he's like, "Oh, Jake, is there any chance I can wear these?" I thought I'd just ask you permission. And I was like, "Bro, you can wear whatever you want. Like, as long as it needs to look really ridiculous." And Mr. Ricky pulled that off, didn't he?
Yeah.
So well done, Mr. Ricky.
Yeah. I mean, me saying you look like Christian from Rish, it's not actually a besmirchment. The dude got heat. Anytime you come out in a turtleneck, people are just going to be like, mate.
Oh, he knows. He's excellent.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out Mr. Ricky. He's killing it.
Yeah, definitely. Not in a bad way. Check him out. The dude is awesome. Thoroughly enjoyed not everything I've seen. Also, as well, massive kudos. Obviously, I took my dude with me. And at half time, he was like, "Can I get a photo with the wrestlers?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." I went over to go buy a ticket, expecting it to be like $5 or something. I was like, "Oh, can I get a meet and greet?" £1. I was like, "Oh, yeah, cool. Awesome." So, dude, like you said, it's accessible, it's family friendly, it's it's an awesome night out. So you watch, well, not if you are watching this, you are watching this. Otherwise, you won't be hearing what I'm saying. If there's a Planet show near you, go watch it. You'll have a great time, and then you'll be hooked, and you'll go to all the other ones as well. But yeah, so obviously I will tag Planet in this. I will tag you in this. So if you're not following Jake or Planet, please do so. Do all the generic stuff as well. Hit like, hit subscribe, share, comment. Help me get eyes on the product, not for me, but for when I have people on in the future. Obviously, I want to showcase everybody as much as possible. So, but yeah, thank you for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, as I've just said. Join us next week when I will be joined by JC and Sean only as we discuss and watch Canadian Stampede from '97. So looking forward to that one. Yeah, me and JC, we're going through the '97's pay-per-views and kind of just having a blast from the past. So we're watching all the WCW, WWE stuff, and it's been good, it's been bad, but this is the highlight. Canadian Stampede, one of the best shows ever. So make sure you watch it next week. And yeah, we'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.